welcome to season 2 of Smoke and Fire. Today we're cooking up some meat. So we're going to take this here, bottom round roast, and we're going to do some poor man's burnt ends. Okay, so for poor man's burnt ends, you start with any type of roast here. A lot of times it's chuck roast. This round bottom roast is what I could find at the store, so that's what I'm going to go with. But I'm going to treat it very much like a brisket. Looking at it, there's not a whole lot to trim off. There's a little bit of fat, but I want to keep that fat in there for flavor. And we're going to start by smoking it, just like we would a brisket. Take it to about 195, and then we'll cut it into cubes and finish them off from there. I'm going to start with a little bit of a rub. I'm going to use the Hey Girl Hey beef rub. I promise not to say it like that again. And we'll then put that on the smoker at 275 until it's ready. So now that we have our roast seasoned, we'll let that soak in for a few minutes and then get it on our smoker. We have the Traeger Timberline 850 set at 275 with some oak pellets in there. We'll let that smoke for pretty much all day. Should take 5 to 6 hours. And then we'll wrap it up, bring it up to 195, and then we can create our burnt ends from there. So looking at a longer cook for this, I know if you cut it into cubes first, you can cut down on that time, but I like to do it low and slow all day. So we'll get on the smoker and move on to our next step. Alright, so our roast has been on for about 6 hours now, and we want to move on to the next step. Now within that 6 hours, it's hit what's called the stall. So pretty much the temperature stopped rising. It hit about, it finished around 160, and it was kind of staying there. The meteor thermometer was saying it's going to take another 12 and a half hours to cook. It really wouldn't if I let it go. But one way to do it help kind of speed that along is use a method called the Texas crutch, where we wrap it. You can wrap it in either aluminum foil or peach butcher paper. And the reason we want to keep cooking, like I said, it's at 160, which is definitely done. But what's happening is, once it hits that stall, it's pretty much sweating. A lot of research has gone into what causes it. And pretty much, you've heard the term the meat sweats. Like, you really want some meat, you can smell it, got the meat sweats. That's literally what's happening. It's the meat sweating. And that keeps the temperature from rising. And that with that, a lot of that moisture is escaping. And then you want to get that connective tissue to break down to put that moisture back in. So that's why I want to keep cooking. Just want to keep that temperature up there a little bit higher to put that moisture back in. So you can either wrap in aluminum foil or peach butcher paper. The difference is aluminum foil is what a lot of people used. And the reason why people moved away from it is sometimes as that moisture escapes, as those tissues break down, so a lot of that moisture escapes, and the aluminum foil will hold it in, which makes your crust on the outside of your bark really mushy and soggy. So if you use the peach butcher paper, it lets some of that moisture escape, which preserves your bark. And a lot of people don't wrap at all for that reason. They want to preserve that bark, and they're just going to let it cook, and if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer. And people have had luck with all methods, so really you just want to pick what method works best for you, what you prefer, and and stick to it. I like wrap it with butcher paper, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put it back on, take it up to about 195. Okay, so how I'm going to wrap this is pretty much like you'd wrap a present. I got my peach butcher paper laid out here. I'm going to start with the roast in the corner. And I'm going to fold it in. And I fold it on over. Make sure it's covered. And then just roll. There. And that's it. So that's wrapped up there. I'm going to take the thermometer so we can still monitor the internal temperature. And I can poke that through. It takes a little bit to get it through. There it goes. Alright, and we're going to put this back on the smoker. Alright, so our roast is done. It's been rested, and it's time to get it unwrapped. So let's unwrap this and take a look at it. Alright, so look at that. There, it's looking good. So there's some steam coming off of it. Feels real tender. When I probed it, the probe went in real nice. It just shrink up a little bit in cooking, but that's to be expected. So our next step is to cut this into cubes and mix it in with our sauce. So now we got the roast cut into just cube-like form. They don't have to be perfect. My knife skills aren't that great, so it kind of winds up with what it winds up. But the next thing we want to do is go and get them sauced up. So what we're going to do is use a combination of brown sugar, and then I have the Traeger Texas Spicy barbecue sauce. So you have a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy, and it goes great with beef. So we're going to grab some brown sugar, give it a good coating. And I'm not afraid to, never be afraid to add more. So we'll get that going. And then we'll add in our barbecue sauce. And then we want to make sure to get a good coating. So I'm just going to get in here with my gloved hand and make sure everything's coated up. Plenty of extra. So that should do it. Alright, so now we're going to get this on the smoker. We're going a little bit lower this time. Just add some smoky flavor to it. So we're going to go at 225. And it should take probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then they should be done.